CeX. Hello. It's Jake here again, and today I'm going to be reviewing something I really wasn't too sure on at first. Detective Pikachu. If you've got access to the internet, then you've probably already seen a lot about this movie on social media. Long-term Pokémon fans and haters alike have shared a lot of time sort of picking apart the increasingly weird renderings of live-action Pokémon. If we're naming names, some of the most nightmare-inducing ones were probably Mr. Mime and Ludicolo. I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to wake up to either of those at the foot of your bed. I'm definitely a Pokémon superfan, and when I say this didn't really connect with me at first, I sort of mean the marketing. It just didn't win me over like it seemed to everyone else. When I heard about the film and that it was going to be live action, and then even when I started to see the first Pokémon designs, it didn't excite me, it didn't get to me. Right up until the very last moment that I was in the cinema, and to be honest, even maybe after I'd been watching the film for a couple of minutes, I just was still very skeptical. And Ryan Reynolds is, bursting to the scene with personality, of course, but he's always been a little hit or miss for me. And seeing him connected to the film and seeing his voice out of Pikachu, I still wasn't won over. But now I've seen it, well, before I get too distracted, let's get into the meat of the review. I'm going to avoid spoilers, but I'll be taking loose plots and themes and talking about those, so do be warned. Well, and I'll start with a synopsis as well. It's a bit spoilery, but it's nothing you won't learn in the first 10-15 minutes. Detective Pikachu is a story about a kid called Tim Goodman, who, unlike all of his friends, still doesn't have a Pokémon of his own yet. After the apparent death of his father, Tim meets a gruff Pikachu in a Sherlock Holmes-style hat called Detective Pikachu, who used to be his father's partner. Detective Pikachu suggests foul play, doesn't believe Tim's dad is dead, and together they set out to find the truth. So, let's start by addressing that weird Pokémon CGI. The truth is, it's really not that weird. I'd mostly just seen flashes of trailer footage and pretty unflattering still images on Twitter, but after just a few minutes of sitting in that cinema seat, it just works. The CGI blended pretty damn seamlessly with the live action actors and the world they built around them. They look great, and some of the bigger Pokémon that appear later in the movie are absolutely awe-inspiring, and a really great blend of practical effects and special effects. You'll know what I mean when you see it. It just looks fantastic. And the world building in this movie, which is complementary to the design of the Pokémon, it's incredible. The film is absolutely bursting at the seams with amazing world building, which you'll know is a great love of mine if you've watched my past game reviews. The film sets you up with all the bare facts you need to understand the world of Pokémon, and even if it didn't, I just think there's more than enough to enjoy here, even if you don't know a thing about Pokémon. Now, I'm going to be an outlier here and say that I still found the use of Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu's voice pretty weird, even well into the movie. While I get that the character of Pikachu is supposed to be a hardened, grizzled little detective, the voice of a full-grown, grouchy man coming out of a tiny, little, yellow, adorable mouse took a long time to not be distractingly weird for me. The characterization sometimes comes off a little... it hurts to say it, but a bit desperate. It's like they're really trying very hard to repeatedly tell you that he's funny and grizzled and quirky. It's just like being beaten with the same stick again and again. Clearly, they just put Ryan Reynolds in a voice booth and just let him go wild and put the best bits in the movie, because that character's just him in the body of a Pikachu. All of the little quips, all of the little moments, all of the comedy. But he does have a positive presence in the film, don't get me wrong. He delivers some of the film's most heartfelt and funniest moments. But I will admit, nearly all of those moments you'll know from the trailer. The weakest part of the film is probably the plot. You're going to work out the twists and turns pretty far in advance, but be honest with me. Are you going to see Detective Pikachu for a compelling and thrilling plot? Because I wasn't. No, you're going because it's Pokémon, you want the spectacle, and my god, does it deliver spectacle. This film is so indulgent, so enjoyable, so fun, but it's definitely not going to win any Oscars. But a film doesn't have to be award-winning to be a good, enjoyable film. For that reason, I'm going to give Detective Pikachu 4 stars. It's absolutely worth going to see, and I will be buying the Blu-ray as soon as physically possible. What did you think of Detective Pikachu? What was your favourite Pokémon in it? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, for all the latest movies and games, visit us in-store or at webuy.com. See you next time. CeX.